Welcome to episode 3 of the Face Ripper Records podcast. The first thing I really have to start with is a huge thank you to those who have interacted with the first couple of episodes and my sort of return back into the swing of things, and especially a huge thank you to those who have acquired t-shirts such as the one I am wearing now. Links and stuff below. The support is always humbling, and I'm exceedingly grateful. Yes, well, there we go. And for those who are new, welcome. Today we have quite the lineup. We're going to kick things off pretty quickly with mass deportations of billionaires into the sun. We have lived in an era where the likes of Elon Musk and SpaceX have kind of wormed their way into government. Katy Perry herself was shooted off by billionaire Jeff Bezos into space. Regrettably, she returned to record more material. But you can kind of almost guess by the title of the slight, of the analytical and the sarcastic and the kind of message of potential danger that would be wrapped up into a track such as this. And the band is SideQuest. This is a project by Guillermo, who I have had the pleasure of interviewing on previous podcast episodes. If you go through the YouTube history, I discovered SideQuest through the album The Story of No One, a wonderfully put together series of 2 albums, complete with storytelling and photographs and a real personal touch. I'm going to save some comments for after the track. This is mass deportations of billionaires into the sun. SideQuest. The synth choices are always fantastic, and I actually did comment in our Discord, link and stuff to join that below, in relation to that, and Guillermo himself said, yeah, I wondered how you'd feel about that synth. There's just a harmony between us in those sound choices. Absolutely epic track and a great way to kick off this episode. Next up, good friends of mine, Hartlight. My God, I love this band. This is more than symphonic metal. This is orchestrational beauty and finesse and progressive complexities and just a pure wall of sound, and not just a wall of sound, one that is built by immense personal excellence in each of the individuals chosen instrument of choice, and it's just all arranged beautifully. And they've been putting out a series of live videos, and this is a recent live video. I'm gonna have to butcher some French here. I believe it was at Le Gouliard Plus in Nilvange, France. Okay, that's enough butchering of the language. And Be Blessed came from their Midland and Beyond initial debut EP, which was based on the manga series Berserk. Again, this is a topic I've covered extensively, but it's great to see them live. I saw them live. I was fortunate enough to be at their first shows. Check out this energy.
Le dernier morceau vient de notre premier EP from Midland and Beyond, qui s'appelle Be Blessed.
Black rock of glorious penance, the
I have in my archive footage a whole series of stuff about my first, or surrounding my first visit to Avignon, France, to meet Hartlight for the very first time, and go about on their first 2 performances. And luckily, due to an event of data loss through a rather stressful start to the year, I've managed to reclaim all of that back. I just now have to have the discipline to carve through it, and I will do so. So watch this space. But if you're new to Hartlight, do give all the bands that are featured here a follow, but Hartlight have a special place in my heart. And now for something absolutely new, Gnawing Hunger. I discovered this band on TikTok, of all places. Not usually the place I kind of discover new music. You'll find me sifting through kind of the obscurities and the low listens and emerging stuff on Bandcamp, Spotify. It kind of provides a little bit through their release radar as well. But I discovered this at TikTok. I love the imagery, and this track is called Caligula. I will say I also admire the artwork, I admire the logo kind of style of the band. That's kind of one of the things that, in addition to the music, kind of got me down the Gnawing Hunger rabbit hole. And it's a rabbit hole I recommend you go down. Caligula was, of course, the absolute nutcase of a Roman emperor. I think he actually promoted his horse to general or something. Maybe it was a slow performance day. The armies weren't kind of keeping up with their KPI metrics, but the horse won the show. Who knows? It may have been a really sensible decision, but maybe not. But let's get into the brutality. Caligula. hunger there, serving up some beastly sounds. They're from my native country, the UK, and it's great to see some powerful Brit metal coming through. No offence to anyone international, but it's great to discover homeland bands. We'll be following these guys for for the continuum. They are now on in the playlist, and they should be on yours. And if you like what you hear, or some of what you hear, and you're interested to find out what I may have introduced you in previous episodes, we have this whole Fates of a Record podcasts playlist. There we go. That's an internal marketing. Done. Tick that box. Now, I've been actually busy. I've been writing some bits and pieces. I've been kind of doing my usual sort of extreme symphonic kind of stuff. But last year, I started on a little journey. I wanted to kind of write maybe some sort of simpler music, maybe a bit more kind of gothic in style, and maybe sort of slower paced. Kind of trying to carve out, I suppose, an inner Fields of the Nephilim, like Sisters of Mercy, although I won't profess to be that talented. And so the idea of Monk was born, and the reason I kind of went with that is, one, it kind of links into some of the Buddhist leanings that I have, and two, monks typically kind of being viewed as a nomadic solo entity. This could be something that I could produce a performance out of, or be it on a budget without band members. It could possibly have something like that in it, but as of course with a lot of my lyricism, really kind of focusing on well, how do we put this, one's internal destructive narrative, the things we say to ourselves that are perhaps less than helpful, combined with a bit of underpinning of Buddhist philosophy in the sense that all life is suffering. Our minds are conditioned, programmed to seek it out, and that in the end it kind of doesn't matter anyway. Whether I feed all these elements into each song remains to be seen, but this is my first offering. It's called Disdain. I'm pretty happy with it, and it comes out, it launches on August the 13th. It's a little bit early for links and stuff yet, although you can tag the Instagram account down below. Let me know what you think. This is a lyric video that I've produced. Again, I'm kind of trying to keep the details simple and not be kind of over demonstrative, what do you call it, over graphical, in keeping with the ethic of kind of Buddhism and simplicity. I'm going to stop waffling now. This is Disdain.
Take unraveling of the inner afflictions of the gloriously insane, who go about their day-to-day functioning yet broken, twisted, inept, distorted, their mind remaining as a soil rime rich and fertile, trespass against. The thrall of the thudding footsteps of the abuser keeps them captivated for seasons upon seasons as their self-identity withers, petrified as a tree in an autumn of storms and poison. Filled with rust and mildew are these discarded toys in the attic.
Do let me know what you thought in the comments. And before we finish, obviously I'm going to leave lots of links and stuff below. I keep saying that. So before we finish, I've alluded to the Discord. You can come and join that. You can chat to the artists that have been featured here, as well as other fans and people kind of into all things metal. And you can say hello to me as well if you wish. There's our website. Keep an eye on that. There's going to be various artist pages of the people that are inside the Discord. That's something I'm working on, and we'll have more news about soon, hopefully. There's a slew of reaction episodes coming, so hit the like and subscribe kind of stuff to to kind of keep on top of that. And yeah, so we're going to finish with a journey of one individual, Matthew Conrad. It's rather aptly named project, Relentless Pursuit. You know, he started very rough around the edges, he'll admit that himself. This has been a journey in every sense, from kind of playing and getting used to kind of using different attributes and vocal styles, production, doing the whole thing as one person. And there was a period towards, I think, the end of last year, beginning of the year, where he almost threw in the towel, and to kind of celebrate him not throwing in the towel, we're going to finish this on a double bill featuring two tracks, Redemption and Ludicrum, as they kind of lead themselves into themselves nicely in the layout of the album, which I'll give some details after this. This is Relentless Pursuit. So these tracks featured from the album called Apocalypsis, and this actually releases on the 15th of August. So a good couple of August releases there. You've got me, you've got Matthew Conrad and his Relentless Pursuit. Plenty enough to be getting your teeth into. Again, I'll finish this episode with a huge thanks for those that kind of put up with my waffling. There's been some fantastic music here. I hope you've enjoyed something and can take away something. But above all, follow the artists featured. It's imperative that people get the support, and in all of the cases, I'll put myself aside for now, in all of the cases, it's hugely deserved. This has been episode 3 of the Face Ripper Records podcast.